Hey there, Foggy here. Welcome to day 142 of my year of solo board gaming. And this is probably the closest I've come to failing this goal of actually doing this. Just had to make sure I was recording there. Yesterday, um, the recording did not have any audio with it, so I do apologize for that. I've been having some issues with Streamlabs and my setup, and I did not notice that there was zero in the way of recording. And also, this is my third attempt to try to record this game, and it is the same day that this video has to go out. So as soon as I'm done with this, I have to pretty much post it if I want to keep this streak going. So yay! We've got ourselves Set a Watch. That is basically it's a game where you are exploring locations, defeating monsters, and making sure that you have a nice big fire. We are sort of not really set it up. I sort of took everything down because I was having some issues with understanding it, but we are going to go ahead and set this up from the get-go. So set out the board and the components. We've done that. This is the little campground box that comes with it. It's basically part of the box, which is kind of neat. There's a little fire token here, and I think what these are meant to go maybe here or here. I'm not really sure. I've never really understood what the purpose of those are. But you start off with 7, so that's a good way to know. And then next up, we are going to pull out some adventurers. My initial setup had 3 of these, 3 from this stack, which is these basically will use 6-sided dice instead of 8, and this side will use 8 instead of 6. And I think what I want to do is I'm not going to do this randomly. I'm going to go with the wizard and the cleric. We're going to set aside the rogue and the bard. And then for the other characters, we are going to go with the warrior. And I think we're going to go with the ranger. I think the ranger is a good one to go with. I kind of feel like I should go with 2. You know what? We're going to switch out the cleric and the rogue, I think. So this way, what we've got are 2 characters each that use the 6-sided dice, 2 characters each that use the rangers in the back, the 8-sided dice. We have 2 ranged characters, the wizard and the ranger, and we have 2 melee characters, the rogue and the warrior. And what that means is that the rogue and the warrior can only attack the creatures that are in front, in the very first part of the line, and the wizard and the ranger can attack the first or second character in the line, which becomes an important distinction. And of course, it is also worth noting that abilities may affect other characters all throughout. Now, in this game, you're going to be playing through 8 locations, and at each location, you'll be drawing out monsters. And 1 character each turn must rest, and each character must rest twice overall. So let's see, we've got the rogue here. I'm going to do a quick shuffle of abilities. Each character will start out with 3 abilities, 2 regular, and then 1 exhausted. So he's got Stay Dead, she's got Backstab, and Smoke Bomb is exhausted. You basically deal out 2 regular and then 1 exhausted. The warrior, we're going to do the same thing. A little shuffling here. Wound, lower a revealed creature's health by half, rounding down. Throw axe, deal 8 damage to the revealed creature in the second position. And Berserker, basically you can defeat a revealed creature of lesser health adjacent to a creature that you just defeated, which is kind of nice. Then the wizard. Wizard needs food badly. Actually, no, wizard's fine. Wizard does not need food badly. All right. Let's see. We got shock bolts. Defeat a creature with 8 or less. Chaos Blast, defeat 2 revealed adjacent creatures and add a creature to the end of the new line. And then Curse, defeat a creature that has already had an attack die to it. That is pretty helpful. And then finally, you can tell that I was playing with the cleric before because I basically had all of the cleric cards separated out. So here we go. And we're going to put knight up there. Alright, so Farsight, increase the range of all adventurers by 1 until the end of the round. Passive. Once per round, you may re-roll and reuse a die spent on a direct attack. And Slumber. Conceal a revealed creature. Recover any die stolen by that creature and push it to the back of the line. Ooh, fun. All right. So, and we'll want this up here. All right, next up, we've selected our adventures and we've chosen our 3 adventure slots. Now we have to prepare the creature deck. We are going to do this on easy mode, so we're just going to have one summons deck, one summons card, and we're going to set the rest aside. We're going to randomly select 30 creature cards, but we have to make sure that we include both acolytes. So let's go through and make sure that we've got the acolytes pulled out. 1, 2. Hate the acolytes, I really do. The acolytes are just a pain in the butt. Alright, let's try this again. Do a little quick shuffle here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Alright, there we go. That is all of our creatures. The rest will go over here. And we combine the summons and the acolyte, and that will make our creature deck. Next up, we will be... Now, normally, if you were playing with more than one summons, you would split the deck up into how many ever piles you needed to make. So if you had 4 summons, you'd make 4 piles and then shuffle 1 summon into each pile. Basically, so you can spread out the summons. And then prepare the map. We're going to take 8 cards. We're not going to look at them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can, if we want to, select the final location. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this easy. We're going to go with Forbidden Tower. Basically, the Forbidden Tower, you can use your ability cards to give yourself a couple extra firewood. Nice. All right, the rest of these are now shuffled together. Going to make our little prepare deck. Shuffle the Unhallowed cards, and without looking drawn, place 1 card in the Horde face down. So Unhallowed are special, like, boss monsters. Alright, and one of these is going to go face down. The others are going to go face up. Over here. We'll put that off to the side here. And the others are going to go up here. Alright, so we have prepared everything. Now we light the fire, we go to 7, and we set our first location. Our first location is going to be the Haunted Manor. We get +2 fire. Unfortunately, you do not adjust for your first location, so that does not... That is a bummer. And also, the Adventurer Who Rests in Camp does not heal an ability card, which is kind of a bummer, because that's the reason that you do the rest, is so that you get one of your abilities refreshed. All right, so the Warriors got 5, 2, and 1. The Elven Scout, 7, 6, 5. The Shock Bolt, 1, 5, and 5. And 4, 6, and 2. Becomes 3, 6, and 6. Okay. So, looking at this, what do I want to do? Now, typically what I've been doing is on the very first... On the very first turn, I like to just get a lot of campwood, firewood chopped, so I can get this fire going. I feel like the Warrior is probably my best bet for that. It's not great. The problem is that I really do want to also heal, and I can't heal because I don't have a 6 there. So I think no matter what, I'm not going to be able to recover the ability that I need to refresh, which is a bummer. And also the Warrior can increase the firewood by 4, so I'll get a huge bump from that. And I may as well... I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the warrior as the first to rest, we're going to automatically get 1, 2, 3, 4, up to a 4. We'll go ahead and set the chopped firewood a little bit higher. We'll do 2 of those there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally, we'll use this 5 to go ahead and check the map. Now, when checking the map, you're basically going to take the top location that you would have dealt with next. You're also going to take the top unused location, and you're going to compare both. Now, in this one, I've got a summoning circle. Add the top card of the unhallowed deck to the end of the line, which is not great, but could be helpful. And then you've got the white monolith. All adventures with an exhausted ability card, refresh that card, and must exhaust a different active ability card. I think I'm going to go with the summoning circle. The summoning circle at least only has 5 monsters. And so while there's an unhallowed at the end of it, I think that's okay. So that'll be our next location. That's something to keep in mind. All right, so now we're going to set out 6 monsters. And something I kept doing in the previous versions of the game, previous iterations, attempts to record this, is I kept dealing out 3 face up and then doing the rest. And I want to try to be good about this. So we reveal one at a time. Okay, so Fae, first position, is going to lower our fire by 1. Shade, ongoing. The Shade's base health is equal to 16 minus the current firewood value, which is great because right now we're at a value of 14, so its strength is 2. And then a bear, just simply a bear. All right. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do backstab, reveal 2 creatures, and then defeat one of them whose health is equal to or under your total die roll for this round. And because I have this passive Stay Dead ability, that means that I will also be able to just simply remove them from the game, which is awesome. So we're going to take the 3 and we're going to dedicate it to that. We're going to reveal these 2 creatures. We have Ember Drive, which has an ability in the first position, and then Zombie Horde. Now the Zombie Horde's health is added to the creature's base health at the top of the graveyard. Now right now there's no creature in the graveyard, so that is something that we want to consider taking out really quickly. However, I do get to defeat one whose health is equal to or under your total die roll this round. Because I have 15, I can actually take out this Ember Drake, and because of Stay Dead, they're removed from the game. They're not even going to the graveyard. So that's great. Now, because this is not turn-based, I can go in any order that I want. And so I'm going to go with the Wizard next, defeat a creature with 8 or less health, and I'm going to take out this Zombie Horde. They're going to go to the graveyard. I'm now going to go ahead and take out the Fae in the first position. And again, because of Stay Dead, that creature's out of the game. I'm not going to do the... We now have to reveal this last one. Steal the highest available die to become this card's base health. Well, the highest available die right now is 6 with the Ranger, as well as the Rogue. I'm going to take the Rangers. I'm going to go ahead and have... I want to keep this Shade. I feel like this Shade's actually not a bad thing to keep. And because its health is only 2, I can actually just go ahead and do a direct attack. Boom. They're out. There, go to the graveyard. Once per round, you may re-roll and reuse a die spent on a direct attack. Now, Sharpshooter allows me to re-roll this, and I get a 5 instead. So right now we're at 5 and 6, and honestly, like, this is just simply straightforward. Going to kill the bear, and then kill the vampire. And I'm going to use the Rogue to kill the vampire, and that means that this vampire is also out of the game. 3 creatures out of the game. That's pretty awesome, and I hate the vampires. I really hate the vampires. All right, and that is it for the first round. For the second round, we're going to bring all the dice back to where they're supposed to go. And we're going to go ahead and reveal the next location. Now, the next location is the Summoning Circle, as we know. We're going to reveal the top card of the Unhallowed deck at the end of the line. It's the Pyromancer. And we are going to lose 1 fire this time. We didn't lose any fire last time, simply because of the fact that we don't do that on the first round. We're then going to roll all the dice. Now, ideally, what I'd like to do is have somebody be able to go in on round 3 to get rid of the unhallowed creature and the 1 creature in our horde. Now, the way that you get rid of your creatures in the horde is that you use these runes on the back of the cards. That will basically help you out. Ooh, that is really nice. That's double 8s. And then a 3. Ranger's going to take out a lot of people this round. One of the other mistakes I was making is that when I was using abilities, and I'm hoping I'm understanding the rules correctly, I was automatically exhausting them. And the whole point of the abilities is that you use the dice to activate them. And if you then need to activate them again, you then go ahead and if you need to activate them again, you're going to exhaust them. So you can use it twice per round, but you will exhaust it on the second time. And that's something to keep in mind. All right, so now we're going to decide on who's going to go rest. Now, the warrior's already rested once, and I don't want to send the warrior again. I think I'm going to have the wizard go this time. The wizard's going to rest, automatically refreshes one ability card, and it has the ability to teleport. Draw the top 3 cards from the unused location deck and pick one to swap with the top card of the map deck. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of the unused location deck. So we're going to take these 3 cards. We're going to take a look at them. We've got a Cursed Cathedral. It's probably not what we want to go with. We've got the Barren Plains, and we've got the Ancient Crypt. Now, the problem with the Barren Plains is that we're going to reduce the firewood by half, rounded down. That means if it stays here on 13, we're going to go down to 7. That's pretty bad. And then Ancient Crypt, we've got 7 monsters going lower by 3, but it's probably our best bet. Compared to Mountain Keep, which would have been -2, we would have added the highest health creature from the graveyard down to the end of the line, which right now would be the zombie horde, which is going to be a problem. We're going to go with Ancient Crypt, and the rest of these are going to go to the bottom of the deck. Now, that's still not great, but you know one thing that we can do? We can check the map. So even after doing that teleporting, we can still dedicate a die to check the map, and we will compare the next location, which we already know is the Ancient Crypt, to the next and Catacombs, and we definitely don't want to do Catacombs. All right, so that would be bad. So we're going to stick with that. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 die on Scout Ahead. That basically means that we get to take a look at the top 2 creatures of the creature deck. We have Forest Giant and Acolyte. Ooh, and we can put them at the bottom of the deck if we want. So what I'm wondering here is, if we keep them at the top, they're both going to come out. We don't want to do that. I'm going to put them at the bottom, and I'm going to put the Forest Giant at the very bottom. Finally, I can go ahead and do that again. I can Scout Ahead one more time. I have to increase the value of the dice that I'm using for that. Something to keep in mind. Forest Giant, and wait a second. Good Lord, it's the same 2 cards. Well, we're going to do the same exact thing. All right, good to know that we're going to have a round with a lot of Forest Giants and a lot of Acolytes. All right, that's a bummer. All right, so we're going to set out 5 characters. We're not going to flip them quite yet. And we're going to go ahead and add the top card of the Unhallowed deck to the end of the pile. Now, this is left face up, and I'm not sure why. Reveal. Place this card at the end of the line. And pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to check something about reveal. So the reveals are done when they're flipped over. So that's something to keep in mind, is that you don't necessarily... we can't flip this over so it doesn't have the reveal aspect to it. We also need to be careful because ongoing, every creature that goes to the graveyard before Pyromancer reduces the firewood by 1. So we will slowly reduce the firewood on this, and that's not good. We are, in the meantime, going to reveal 3 cards. First is the Goblins. Revealed moves first goblins to the first position. They're already there. Shade, its ongoing base value is equal to 16 minus our firewood value, which is 13. It has a strength of 3. And then Skeletons, if they are at the top of the graveyard at the end of the next round, put them in the start of the line at the next round. So right now we have, we're going to go ahead and we're going to activate Backstab. We're going to reveal these 2 creatures. Graveshifter, swap with the top creature of the graveyard. Summon, immediately exhaust an adventure card, and then replace this card with the top card from the Unhallowed deck. Put this card in the graveyard. Ooh. We're going to go ahead and exhaust Farsight. And then we're going to replace this top card. Replace this card with the top card from the unhallowed deck. There we go. Put this card in the graveyard. Now, what I will say is that because we were backstabbing, this has a creature of 9, and we can take this creature out, and because of Stay Dead, this creature goes out of the game instead of into the graveyard. And what I want to point out is that because the creature's not going to the graveyard, we're not going to reduce the campfire. All right. And I think what I'm going to do is, I would really like to focus on skeletons, if I had some way to do that. I don't really. I could have the Rangers start off by taking this character out. We're going to go ahead and have the Ranger take out the Shade. The Ranger takes out the Shade, and that goes to the discard pile. And because of Sharpshooter, once per round, I may reroll and reuse a die spent on a direct attack. So I will reroll, and I get a 1. Yay. I'm going to go ahead and use Throw Axe. Deal 8 damage to a revealed creature in the second position. That takes out the skeletons. Yeah, I'm going to use the Rogue's ability to take out the goblins. And because, again, we have the Stay Dead thing active, the goblins are going to get eliminated from the game. I'm going to wound the Pyromancer. Oh, and because skeletons went here and because Shade went here, those are going to lower our firewood by 2. I'm going to use Wound to reveal this creature from 9 down to 5. And then I'm going to use the Rogue's ability because it's a raid. Oh, no, the Rogue can't do that yet. We're going to have the Ranger take out the Bear, and then, which will lower us by 1. And then the Rogue can take out the Pyromancer because now it's down to 5. Its ability will knock that out. And because of Stay Dead, comes out of the game. So 2 hollowed creatures out of the game completely, which is great. And that's it. So that's it for the second location. We're going to reveal the third location, which will lower our firewood by 3 down to 7. If unhallowed are summoned here, you may pick the unhallowed you face from the unhallowed deck, which is good to know. All right, so we kind of need to get our firewood up, and also we need to indicate that our wizard rested. Since you can only do it twice, they have these little things that you can use that say 1 and 2 on opposite sides. And so far, the warrior and the wizard have each rested once. 5, 1, and 1. I think we're going to be sending the Ranger to rest, which is probably for the best because that is looking pretty gnarly. All right. 1, 1, and 6. Ooh, that's even worse. So part of me is wondering if I should send the Rogue, because the Rogue could then heal, activate the heal action. We're not going to be able to do much else, but I do want to send that one. I want to use the pair of 1s. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to send the Rogue in. So the Rogue is going to go into rest this round. Their ability is to perform an equip action. One player on watch may also perform an equip action. We're going to go ahead and refresh the card here. And I don't think we're going to have the Rogue change anything, but we are going to take a look and see what else they've got. I think we're going to swap out Smoke Bomb for Poison Blade. And now one other creature may also replace their card. Now, when you are replacing a card, if the card is already exhausted, the new card has to come in exhausted as well. I don't like Berserker that much. I like Cleave and Giant's Bane. Both of those are helpful. I like Longshot. Longshot is amazing. We're going to substitute in Longshot for far sight, which means it comes in exhausted. All right. And so because of that, we can go ahead and use this for heal. And heal, I believe, allows you to heal any other player. Like, you don't have to heal just yourself. But I am going to check that. Yeah, refresh one exhausted ability card for yourself or any adventurer on watch. So we will allow the ranger to get healed. And then we'll use the ones, and we'll use that on Vanquish and Bolster. Vanquish removes the top creature from the horde from the game. Say goodbye. Wait, why are there two here? There should just be the one. I'm not sure what this one was doing. This is... yeah, I think there was one previously from the previous game there. So... no, we did add one to the horde. We did add one to the horde. So we're going to get rid of this one. That's gone. Sorry. There is one more still remaining. For Bolster, all adventurers on watch may choose to reroll any number of their die. We're going to have 1 and 3. Oof. We'll go ahead and have the warrior reroll as well. May as well reroll all of them. 5, 6, and 6. That's a little bit better. And I think I'm just going to roll the 3 for the wizard. And I get another 3. Awesome. Sorry for not using the dice tray on that. I probably should have. Let's go ahead and get this out. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Worth noting that we do not have any summons anymore, and the bottom 4 cards will be forest giants and acolytes. So something to keep in mind. We'll reveal the next 2. We're not revealing 3. So we get goblins again, and we will move them to the first position when revealed, which of course in this case does not apply. And the treant, when defeated, will give us +2 to the firewood. So we're going to go ahead and throw an axe and take out that treant. And that will bump us up by 2. We are then going to reveal the next one. If the wyvern gets to the front position, we're in trouble. So we're going to go ahead and use Shockbolt to take out the wyvern. So we don't have to deal with that. It's going to reveal one more creature. Bandit. We do not want the bandit getting to the front. So we're going to use 1 for long shot to take out any unrevealed creature card. So we'll take out this one. Zombie Horde will go straight to here, which is great because that would have been really bad. And then we only get to apply that on direct attack. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 direct attack on the bandit, and we're going to combine that with the wizard's direct attack on the bandit. That will take out the bandit. But I also get to re-roll that 3 and reuse it. An eagle. So I think at this point we'll just go ahead and use that 7 to take out the goblins. We have an eagle and a fire serpent. Ooh. The fire serpent's base health is equal to the current firewood value, which is going to be 9. I would be worried about that, except pretty much... yeah, I mean, I've got 5 here to take out the eagle. And then we can just go ahead and take out 5 and 6 and just take out that fire serpent by teaming up the rest of our dice. And that takes out the fire serpent. I would like to get rid of the fire serpent. That would be nice. But for now, we're going to be good with that. So we're going to go on to our next round. The ranger is the only one that has not actually rested yet. 2, 2, and 4, which is... 2, 4, and 6. I'm thinking that the warrior might end up going this time around. Well, the warrior doesn't get doubles on this, so I think that pretty much rules that out. And then finally, the wizard. Wizard will not be resting. The wizard will want to rest before round 8. Because one thing that's really not useful is having the wizard be the last one to rest. Because that ability just does not kick in at all. All right, so I think we're going to have the wizard rest, or the ranger rest, because they're the only ones that have not gone yet. And that will heal that. We're going to go ahead and spend 2 rounds just chopping up firewood. 1, 2, 1, 2. We could heal. We have a 6, but I think what we're going to do is instead is check the map. So checking the map, I have an abandoned village coming up, which would be kind of nice to not deal with. And Forgotten Graveyard. And I think we're going to go with the Forgotten Graveyard instead of the village. We're going to have 7 creatures in line. Again, don't flip them over until you've got everything out. There we go. It should be over here. All right, and then we're going to reveal 3 creatures. First position, draw a creature and place it in front of Fellbeast. Activate only once. Okay, that's not good. Fire Serpent. Its health is going to be pretty big. We still reveal this creature defeated the Treant, which will be very helpful. So this is nasty. This is just nasty. And that is just garbage in terms of rolls. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to take out, use the 1 and the 3 together. We're going to use the 1 on wound and 3 on throw axe, and that basically will take out our Fellbeast here. It'll lower his the Fellbeast's hit points to 5, and then basically, actually, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to wound the Fire Serpent. That takes it from 13 down to 7. We're then going to use a 6 to bring it down to 1, and then we're going to use a 2 from the rogue to take out the Fire Serpent and remove it from the game thanks to that dead ability. That lovely, lovely dead ability. Then we're going to use this 2 to deal 8 damage to the Fellbeast, and then another 2, and that takes out the Fellbeast, and because the rogue helped, that comes out as well. We want to take out the Wyvern in that position. So I think what we have to do is we're going to go ahead and use this 3, and then take out the Wyvern. Steal the highest available die. Oh, a-hole. Before this becomes too bad, because it looks like we're going to take some damage this round. We're going to go ahead and do Backstab. Skeletons. Grave Shifter. So we have to swap this out. The skeletons, unfortunately, are 9, and they have rogue has a health of 8. So it's going to be the Wyvern that gets taken out, and does actually come out of the game, though. I'm going to go ahead and do something I don't normally do, and that is exhaust this ability. That means I get to use it again, and that takes out the Vampire. Which goes up here because technically that is not available. I don't think I can defeat anybody else. I think to do it, yeah, I can't kick in Curse. I'm going to use Chaos Blast because what I'm hoping is that this is not... Hey, sweetie. Okay, cool. I'll be in just a moment. All right. I'm never going to get this video up. We're going to use Chaos Blast, take out these 2 creatures, and hope for the best. We get a wolf and a metal golem, and I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Shock Bolt. So I can take out the Metal Golem. That'll leave the Wolf. And I think that's where I have to leave it. So we did get 1 damage from the Wolf, which means we're going to exhaust. I think we're going to exhaust this one. And then I think any creatures that are left at the end of the round, they are added to the Horde. So, all right, and I'm going to pick up the rest of this in a bit. Okay, so where were we? We were at the Ancient Crypt. We still had 1 creature left over, so they went into the Horde, and now we're going to start the next round. So we'll move all these out. Back to the Ranger. Everyone has rested once, despite that saying 2. And we're going to reveal the next location, Forgotten Graveyard. We're going to lower this by 2. All defeated undead creatures go back to the bottom of the creature deck instead of the graveyard. All right, now we're going to start rolling. 2, 2, and 1. Oof. Holy moly, that's bad. 2, 2, and 4. That is also bad. 3, 3, and 5. Not great. 1, 5, and 6. Okay. All right, let me check something here real quick. Do we have an unhollowed in here? Because if we do, I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. Summons. Don't like that summons being in there. We actually don't, believe it or not. So I think the warrior is going to go and head off to rest this round, which means they're going to go up to 2. We're going to have them heal on their throw axe. We're going to use the 2s. They automatically bump up our firewood by 4, which is great. We're going to use these to vanquish and bolster. Basically, we get rid of the top one of the the Horde, which unfortunately is only a wolf. But it does mean that in the next turn, hopefully we can get somebody to fix that. We're going to re-roll the Ranger's dice completely. That was just horrible. Re-roll this 1 as well. Get a 3. All right. And then finally, we're going to use the 4 to check the map. So let's check that map. Probably should have done it in that order. All right. Goblin Caves increase the health of all goblins by 3, and we deal with 8 creatures. And feels Fetid Swamp, I think. Fetid Swamp doesn't feel as anywhere near as bad. It's fewer creatures, and that first position ability can be muted pretty easily. So the 2s will go there. We're at maximum fire strength, and we're going to get 6 creatures. And we kind of know what some of these creatures are going to be. And in fact, it was probably a mistake to bring the firewood up this much. We know that 2 of these are going to be frost giants or earth giants or whatever they are, and 2 of these are going to be acolytes. But I believe the acolyte is in the 4th position, and so I'm going to use Longshot to take that creature out. All right, so 1 and 2, and we're going to reveal the first creatures. Draw a creature and add it to the Horde. Don't get to look at it. First position, shuffle the summon cards back into the creature deck if there's one in the graveyard. Fortunately, there's not. Forest Giant. The giant's health is always added to the creature's base health behind it. Reveal the next creature in line if necessary. Acolyte. Draw a creature and add it to the Horde. Grr. First positions, reshuffle the summons card. Again, doesn't really matter. Now, the first position did kick in once, so we're going to lower firewood by 1. We're also going to go ahead and use the Ranger's ability. We could also, you know what, we're going to have, we're going to do it this way. We're going to go 3. And push the Acolyte to the end. And then we're going to have Longshot take out that card altogether. We're also going to and then we have to reveal this card too. It's a Forest Giant, so this is going to be 15. This is going to be something after it. Fire Serpent, whose health is... Good Lord. And our wizard does not have an active Shock Bolt. Yay. Oh, this is not looking good. All right, so first things first, we're going to have the Ranger to take out the Acolyte. I prefer to get rid of them, but it's a 1. Yay. It's garbage. We're going to do 1 on the Frost Giant, which now has 15 health. Or actually, no, we're going to have 1 on the Forest Giant with this following it, because that's the health of this Forest Giant is 19, believe it or not. That's insane. But 1 hits the Forest Giant because it's ranged. 3 on Curse, defeat a creature that already had an attack die assigned to it. That Forest Giant's dead. I just don't see how I'm going to deal with the rest of this. And because that I'm going to... Let's say that I exhausted this before we got to this card. Before we did that. Because I wanted to defeat this automatically. Ooh, it's a summons. So I guess we probably should have just followed this normally. Sorry. All right, immediately exhaust an adventure card. Replace this card with a card from the Unhallowed deck. And this card goes to the graveyard. Wyvern Rider, and then if we have any Wyverns in the graveyard, which we don't, they go behind it. But this is going to be bad. I mean, this is not easy by any stretch. And so the question is, who do I want to hit? I could exhaust Curse. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Chaos Blast to take these two out. They're going to get defeated. But we get another creature at the end. And this becomes the new creature on top. However, it's only got an 8 now, so that's not the worst thing in the world. We're then going to just snickersnag all over the Wyvern. And we will go 6, 3, and 3. And basically that eliminates the Wyvern Rider from the game. We're then, oh, and I forgot that because the warrior is resting, they get their card back. Hoping I did not do something stupid there. I think I'm going to go ahead and activate Curse. So I'm going to exhaust Curse, and what that does is allows me to defeat a creature that already has an attack die assigned to it. If I did this first, the smart way to do it, 5, and then the Curse kicks in, and the Forest Giant is eliminated as well, and then we don't have any creatures left at the end of the round. So that is the good way to go. We do have like 4 people now in the Horde, I think. How many people do we have overall? 3. So not horrible, but not great. We're now going to go into our 6th location. The warrior can no longer rest. The warrior is always out there. Always be killing monsters. Ranger, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I was hoping to have the wizard rest on this one. If I don't roll any doubles, then that's probably what I'll do. We have 1, 2, 6. Okay, nobody rolled doubles, which means we don't get to deal with any of the stuff back there. Because I think you have to roll doubles to use any of those. Yeah, you have to roll doubles at least. So if nobody rolled doubles, I'm going to send the wizard to deal with this. First of all, we're going to revive Shock Bolt. We're then going to do Teleport. We're going to take a look at the next 3 locations. What's that? Don't mess with that. we've got Witch's Shack, Long Road, and Underground Tomb. So this would actually add to our fire, which would be nice, except we can't use passive abilities. This would be -6. That would be devastating, but we would get 1 extra firewood for each die spent chopping wood. This is going to reduce the number of revealed creatures by the campfire by 1. I think this is what we're going to want to go with. So we're going to replace the next location here, which was Fetid Swamp. Did I remember to... Oh, I think I might have screwed some things up here. Because I don't think I remember to do the undead creatures going to the bottom of the deck. Fortunately, I think that just affects the Grave Shifter. And I forgot to draw the location before, because Fetid Swamp would have been next, and then it would be this one that gets changed. Lost Outpost. Yeah. Ooh, that is actually not bad. So sorry, I messed that up. That might have actually had an impact on how I wanted to do this. So this is going to go on top. We're going to lower our fire by 3, and we're going to deal out 6 monsters. But first, yeah, that was just stupid. We are going to chop some firewood. 1, 2. We are going to scout ahead, which means that we're going to take a look at the next 2 creatures and figure out what we want to do. We've got Zombie Horde is added to the creature's base health on top of the graveyard, and we've also got the Shade. The Shade is nice because the Shade is very, very weak. And if we kill the Shade first, then this just becomes an 8. So I think we're going to keep it on in this order. Which means we're going to use the last one for chopping firewood too. Okay. And I think that's going to do it. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to put 6 out. 3, 4, 5, and 6. The Shade's health is 1. Zombie Horde is 8 plus whatever's on there. The Treant is the 3rd creature, and then we've got this. So first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take out this Shade using the 2 here. Put that on top. That means the zombie is now a 9. But we do reveal this creature. We do not want that bandit getting into the first position. I think what we want to do is... This is 9. We're going to do 8 as a direct attack, and then 1. Actually, before we do that, this is tricky because I want Backstab to come into play, but that means that is going to put something worse on here, and I kind of would rather just take out the Zombie Horde. So we're going to go ahead and do 8 direct attack on the Zombie Horde, then 1. That is going to take the Zombie Horde out of the game, and that's really what I was hoping for. All right, so this is going to get replaced with this, which is great because that is easy. We're going to use Throw Axe to take out the bandit. Wyvern. We do not want the Wyvern to get in front. Oh, and we're supposed to re-roll this so we can reuse it. Doy. We're going to combine Slumber, Longshot, get rid of the Wyvern. And then I think we're going to go 3 attack and then 6 attack to take out the Treant. That's going to raise us by 2, but it also comes out of the game. And then the Shade, we're going to use that too. That's going to come out of the game. Now the Shades are actually pretty mild. I actually don't like taking them out of the game because they are pretty easy to deal with if you have a big fire. They just also work perfectly against the Fire Serpent, which has a base health of equal to your fire. All right, so Underground Tomb, we're going to lower by 3. We're back down to there. Everyone's going to get to roll. The Wizard has now rested twice, so it's between the Rogue and the Ranger. 2, 2, 1. That would be great to do 1, 2, 2. So I think it's probably going to be the Rogue. I think that's what we're going to do. 1, 7, 8. And Warrior. 237. Okay, so yeah, it is going to be the rogue. We're going to go ahead and do 2 for Vanquish and Bolster. Take 1 off the Horde. Unfortunately, it's just the Shade that's there. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit better. And then also we can perform an equip action. 1 player on watch may also perform an equip action, but I think I'm pretty good with where I am right now. We do heal Poison Blade. Actually, let's do this. Let's equip Smoke Bomb instead, because I think that that's going to be more helpful. And we're going to do Polymorph instead of Chaos. And then for the 1, we can scout ahead. I mean, I think that's the only thing that we can do of any use whatsoever. Goblins and Vampire. We're going to put the Vampire on the very bottom. Actually, let's see. It's a shame. If we had 1 less firewood, we'd be able to have the Vampire be second and then just take it out. That would be pretty nice. But that's it for what we're going to do for the camp action. We're going to set 6 creatures out. Just as a reminder, the Vampire is 3rd. Okay, first creature, Skeletons. Skeletons. Eagle. All right, first thing that we're going to do is we can't backstab. We can't take anything out this round. But we can use this 1 to take out a creature of 8 or health less. So that creature's coming out. We'll reveal the next creature, Metal Golem. No attacks can be assigned after it. We're going to use 1 on the long shot because it's direct attack, so you can still do other things. We're going to take out this, which is the Zombie Horde, which is actually a good one to take out. Let's see. I need to take this out. So I'm going to have the Ranger take out the Eagle. That reveals the Bear. This then gets rerolled because of Sharpshooter, and it's a 4. We're then going to have Throw Axe to take out the Metal Golem, but then Berserker to also take out the Bear. And then finally we're just going to... Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that yet. I'm sorry. We're going to Snicker Snag all over the Skeletons and then take out the Bear. There we go. All right. And honestly, we could have had the Ranger take out the Bear too. Like we had all sorts of fun stuff. Okay, so the Rogue comes back. Everyone is rested. The Ranger will be the one to rest this time. So before we do that, let's reveal the next location. It is the Sea Fortress. We're going to lose 4 off of here. Oof. If an Unhallowed is summoned here, place the summon card at the bottom of the creature deck. We're not going to chop firewood. Just so you know, we are not going to do that because we actually don't want the vamp. We know that the Vampire is 3rd, and we want to leave that Vampire unrevealed. So Backstab can take it out because the Ranger's not going to have. Ranger's going to be resting and has a 3, 5, and 8, so we can't get any more of the Horde out. Stupid. This blows. 1, 1, and 3. Oof. I don't want to send the Ranger, but I have to. He's the only one who has to can do anything. And I can't even heal, which would be nice for the Curse card up there. 2/2/5. All right, so Ranger's resting, and the Ranger's not going to do jack. We still have 1 more location, don't we? How do we have 1 more location? I think I must have messed something up somewhere along the line, so we ended up with 1 extra location. We're just going to move that one to the back, as long as it's not... Yeah, it's not. Not sure how that happened. I could equip... kind of don't want to. Yeah, I mean, essentially it's just 3, 5, 8, and I'm not going to chop firewood. I will chop... Tell you what, I will chop 1 firewood to move that up a little bit. And I will scout ahead. I will just do one quick scout. I did have a free Elven scout, but it's not really going to help me. And we're going to go ahead and do it in this order. All right. So, yeah, that's everything. Okay. So, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So that's it. I mean, that's all we're going to do is we're going to set these cards out. We're then going to shuffle this. One, two, three, four. That's the creature deck, not the graveyard. Get that back here. Okay, so we're probably going to have a summons card somewhere in here too. Reveal the move goblin to the first position. Swap this card with the top creature in the graveyard. Does not actually swap. We want to use backstab first. We're going to reveal these two creatures. Oh, look at that. We got a vampire and an acolyte, and we're going to kill the acolyte. And which, oh, that's so to do with the reveal there. The highest card is a 5. We'll give them the 5. But the acolyte comes out of the game. That's the important thing. Let's see. It's one of the few times that this would have become really helpful. We are going to just simply take out the shapeshifter, though. The grave shifter. That's going to go there. And then we're going to use a shock bolt to take out the goblins. So these become revealed. Ongoing. Fire serpent. Oof. That's not good. Actually, we're going to use smoke bomb. That will clear out the text here, and that will basically make the fire serpents unusable. This gets swapped. Ugh. So that's back to 10, which means this forest giant has a value of 18. We're going to wound and damage this. So this goes from 8 and 10 down to 9. Can I do this? Let's first of all just use this, and we're going to take out the vampire. I think that's the important thing. And because of stay dead, that is now out of the game. Oh, and this should have come out of the game too, because I used smoke bomb on it. So there we go. So that is just an 8. Which, because of wound, I'd already. Yeah, I think I did this. I think I did this just in the wrong order, but I think it still counts. But if because none of these were actually applied to the forest giant, let's just assume that it's 1 wound. That goes down to 4. That's 4. That's the forest giant. So there we go. All right. Sorry, I mucked that up. And now we're on to our last location. We're going to lower this by 2. So I'm glad I actually got the firewood taken care of. We're going to have 9. And then we do get 1 extra firewood. But we're going to get 9 creatures first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That up a little bit. 7, 8, 9. And then the horde, which in this case is just 2 creatures, so that's good. So that's all the way over there. Can't actually see it. I think that's the last card. Oh, you can see it. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's start revealing. We're going to reveal 2 creatures at a time. Oh, we have to roll our dice first. That would be helpful. No one's going to get to rest, so Curse is not available to me, which is a bummer, to say the least. 4, 4. There's our triple. Needed that at some point. 2, 4, and 6. 2, 3, and 5. Okay. Let's see how bad this goes. We're going to reveal the first 2 cards. Bandit. Wyvern. Okay, so one thing that's a plus here is I do have... we're going to let him steal that. And we're going to go ahead and use Slumber. Conceal a revealed creature. Recover any die stolen by that creature and push it to the back of the line. Except we do want to take out Wyvern first. So 1 to take out Wyvern. Skeletons. Okay. And then we may as well throw axe and exhaust it. Let's take out the skeletons. Zombie horde. That's going to be difficult to get rid of. But now we can do slumber. That will basically return this back to the warrior. That goes to the end. Metal golem. So the metal golem, no direct attacks can be assigned till after it. However, we're going to use our shock bolt to take out the metal golem. That's going to leave an eagle. We've got 10 health, and we're going to go ahead and do backstab, acolyte, and forest giant. And forest giant has less health. We do have to reveal the next one, I think. So that's going to give it 16. So it's going to be the acolyte. I don't know how smoke bomb or backstab works with reveals. I was watching something earlier that talked about backstab. Not having the reveal doesn't kick in. That doesn't seem right. So draw a creature and add it to the horde. That's actually not going to matter. First position, yeah, so that's not going to matter. We do have to take out one of these. It will be the acolyte. They'll come out of the game. And we can do that again. We can exhaust this one. And we will reveal these two because it's the first position that we have to worry about with the bandit. Warlord and the bandit. Ongoing, all other creatures in line are 2 greater in health. That means this is now a 9, so we'll take that out. Long shot, we may as well just assign a dice to that. That will be take out any unrevealed card. That was the treant, so we're going to get +2 for our fire. All right, so now what? This warlord is frustrating, but I can use smoke bomb, and now it's not affecting us at all. We want to kill the eagle next, and the ranger's going to take out the eagle. Two. Oof. We're going to go ahead and do polymorph. Swap out the forest giant for another eagle. And then do I have something else that's really, really wimpy? A couple grave shifters, but that's it. We'll go ahead and do 6 to take out the eagle. And then we'll exhaust polymorph. Actually, we'll exhaust this guy. Do I want to do it that way? Yes. I think I messed up. No. Okay. I think I can do this. Smoke bomb, we're going to exhaust that to ignore the ongoing text on there. So this is no longer applicable. It's now got a health of 7. We'll use the ranger ability, and we'll go ahead and use this 5, and the zombie horde is out of the game. Now we're going to lower the health of this by half, from 9 and 11 down to 20. Actually, we'll exhaust shock bolt. We still have a couple things left, but we'll exhaust eagle. Oh yeah, this is not the one that combined, so we're fine. We're fine. This is going to lower it by half. Actually, we can just snicker snag all over it. There we go. Skeletons are dead, and that is it. And I'll stitch these two games together. And the audio, I'm hoping that the audio was there. Folks, thank you so much. This has been a fun little game, and I'm hoping that this video goes up because I'd hate to break my streak because I had so much difficulty recording. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.